Well, Peter, thank you so much. So I'm hearing you're down in DC. So is that where you normally train, and what gym are you at, and how's that been going?
I normally train in like South Florida and
Mhm.
Hollywood, but it's my first time out here. I always wanted to train out here since I was amateur. It's my first time.
Oh, who have you been working with?
I'm working with Barry Hunter.
Oh, nice. So is this your first fight with Barry Hunter, or have you worked together in the past
Yeah,
before?
it's my first fight.
How did you and Barry get connected?
Through my manager.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And
one of my he's not really my manager, but he's like he because I got a manager, but he's like a guy who's trying to help out. You know what I mean?
got you. Yeah. And then as far as working with Barry, what has that experience been like?
I mean, it's a great experience. You know, he's a Hall of Fame trainer, and I'm just here soaking up all the knowledge. You know, like a sponge, just trying to learn as much as I can learn from him.
As far as like different people that you see coming in and out of camp, I mean, have you been, working with some of the different fighters in the gym? Are there some names you've been
Uh,
sparring or things of that nature?
not yet,
Mm-hmm.
not yet. I've sparred guys like you probably know, but no big names out here.
Got you. Well, and I know that in the past, I mean, you've had extensive sparring situations. I've read some of the names that you've worked with, whether it's, Terence Crawford or Erickson Lubin. How, looking at some of those fighters that you've worked with, how have they helped you along the way in sharpening your tools?
It helps a lot because not only did I get to spar them, I was actually in camp with them, so I saw like I'm from New York, and like the way fighters train in other states, like you see why they're so successful, right? So if everybody, like, if you stay in your own city, you only see the people in your city how they change. So like I was in Vegas, I was in camp with Crawford, I was in Florida, I was in camp with Erickson. So I seen like different looks, how guys spar 4 minute rounds, 10 rounds, three different guys. Like in New York, I never really see anybody do that. So like getting out of town and seeing stuff like that, it took my career to the next level.
When you go in and you hold your own against a guy like Terence Crawford, like how big of a confidence boost is that for you? Like, holy shit, like I'm pretty good.
I mean, I always thought I was pretty good,
Mhm.
because like no matter, like I spar a lot of boxers, and I send guys home with black eyes, and I never go home with a black eye. I never go home with Eddie, like, and that's really when I realized I was good, because when I first started, I used to go home with my jaw hurting, and I realized one day, like, man, I look like I could go to the club right now. I just finished sparring 10 rounds. I'll do that every day. And then my trainer would tell me, like, damn, Pete, you giving everybody black eyes. Because 1 week I gave like 3 people with black eyes. So like I always knew I was good. So it's not really big to go rounds with those guys, because I always knew I could do it. And it's just how I do the rounds. Like I would want to do better. Like uh, I want to dominate those rounds. You know what I mean?
As far as when you're talking about your ability to give other people black eyes, yet you're kind of still looking fresh, is that more of how would you say that you've evolved defensively, and the ability to counter? Is that kind of like what you would say your strength is?
Yeah, that's definitely, it's crazy that you say that, because when I first started boxing, my coach wanted me to be aggressive, like coming forward. And when I switched coaches, now I have like a more of a slick style, and I have great defense. Like people will be surprised. Like I really barely get hit with clean shots. You know what I mean?
For sure. And kind of thinking about that whole idea of boxing IQ. I know a lot of young guys, when they watch fighting or boxing of any sort, it's all about, let me show my cojones, let me go in there, let me mess someone up. But they don't really think about the defensive part. Um, when you started boxing, how old were you?
Um, well, realistically, I started when I was 14, but I only did it for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like, because I was playing basketball at the time, so like that's when I first got my first taste of boxing. Like I did it actually for maybe less than 3 months. I did it for a summer. Like I started like probably in June, and by September I wasn't boxing anymore. So I don't know how many months that it is, but like I did that, and then like in those 3 months I sparred. Like they had me spar from the first day I went in the gym, and I was doing good against guys that I've been training for like years. So like the guy kept asking me to go back, and like when I was 16, I had got like bad grades, so I couldn't be on the basketball team anymore. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna just go box, and so I really started boxing at 16.
And then as far as from 16, when did you feel like, all right, I'm going to put 110% into this thing. I'm going to be a future boxer. Did you always know that, or did you have to kind of grow into that?
At 23, because I know that's a long time, right? But like when I was boxing before, like my first trainer, I didn't, I was a basketball player, so he used to treat boxing like a season. Like I was just only fighting the Golden Glove. So like all summer I wouldn't be boxing, but then when like a couple months before the Golden Gloves, I would start training. I'll fight, because in New York we have this thing called the Metros too. So I'll start training for the Metros, then I'll fight in the Metros, then I'll fight in the Golden Gloves, and then after that, because our Golden Gloves are is like, it's long. It's not like 1 month. Our Golden Gloves is like 5 months long. Like it starts in June and then it ends in like, actually it's 4 months long. It ends in April. So it starts in January and ends in April.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so like I was boxing like just like it was like a season, you know what I mean? Like, and then I switched trainers. Then I realized that they have tournaments all year round. And that was like at but before that, I had told myself, I fought in the Golden Gloves, right? When I was 19. And I told myself, like, if I don't win the Golden Gloves, then boxing isn't for me. Like, because I had fought the year before and I lost. And I was like, I'm going to just do something else. Because like, in basketball, I always won. Everything I do, I don't like it unless I'm winning. So I was like, if I lose the Golden Gloves again, then this boxing isn't for me. Then the next following year, I won the Golden Gloves. And I was like, all right, so I'm going to keep boxing. But then when I was 23, I fought in the finals of the Golden Gloves. And I lost to a bum. But I wasn't taking boxing serious yet. And I was still beating like good guys. Like I fought this kid named Brian Savallo. He was like some Olympic hopeful at the time. And no one in New York ever beat him in the amateurs. I beat a kid, Tyrone James. He was like one of the favorites to win it. And because it was like brackets, and I was in a tough bracket. Like, and then I beat this Russian kid that was good. I beat some other kid. So it was like, when I lost in the finals, it was like, if I take boxing serious, like I'll probably, because they were going to give me the fighter of the tournament, because I was expected to beat the guy, because I already beat all of the best fighters in the tournament. And then I lost to like a guy who came from a bum bracket. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this loss, and I'm going to just really take boxing serious and go 100%. You know what I mean?
For sure. And kind of looking at it, I mean, as far as boxing, obviously, for so many guys, it becomes their career, it's their living. Is it more about, hey, it's a way of life, it's a way to provide, or is it something that you end up falling in love with? It's something that you kind of find with your heart?
For me, it's something that I fell in love with, but also, you can't do anything without money. You can't eat without money. You can't do like, so I fight to get paid, but I also, like, I love boxing. Like, it's like my, I can't even say I love watching boxing. Like, I feel like I'm not even really like a boxing fan. I'm a fan of the old fighters though, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't really look forward to seeing people fight, but I like watching old fights and studying boxing. I'm a fan of the art, like studying boxing. Like, but again, with the question you had asked me earlier, the reason I say I took boxing serious at 23, and I wasn't taking it serious because I had got a good job, and I got like a job in the hospital, and all my friends were like, "Oh, you good? You got a good job and all of this." Like, but they're regular dudes. They don't box. They really don't have any dreams. Like, they just went to college and stuff like that. So they're like, "Oh, you good now?" And one of my friend's father is Damon Dash. I don't know if you know who Damon Dash is.
Oh yeah.
But Damon Dash came to my first amateur fight ever. When I was 16, he came to my fight. He with his son, because his son was like my best friend. So like when I hadn't seen him for a while, when I saw him when I was 23, he's like, "You still boxing?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm not boxing no more." Because I had took like a year off when I started working, and he was like, "Man, he was like, how many hours you work a day?" I'm like, eight and a half. He's like, "Yo, and look how much you get paid." He was like, "Imagine if you went to the gym for 8 hours a day, how much you would get paid." So then it was like a whole bunch of stuff. Like I just started thinking, I quit my job and I just started like taking boxing serious. I'm like, yo, I'm just gonna struggle now and it's gonna pay off in the future. Like I'm not gonna be able to do all the things I want to do, but I know it's gonna pay off, and I fell in love with boxing. Like I'm a student of the game. I study it a lot. And yeah.
I mean, that's a hell of a leap of faith to take. I know how scary, going out for a dream can be. How nervous were you about that move? Like, was it like, did you have doubts at all?
I feel like when you're in the moment, like when you're doing it, like you don't really think about all the like all the things that can happen that could go wrong. So many things did go wrong, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I was just so determined to make it happen that I made it happen, man. And I thought about quitting a million times, like, but I had like strong people around me that kept my mind. Like when I was down, they would be like, "Bro, you're too good to like quit." Feel me? I got lucky with that, because like also there's people who would tell you like you should quit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's like who you want to listen to. You know what I mean?
As far as I know, some of the setbacks, I know you had a hand injury that kept you out for a long time. I know there was some management problems. When all those things are kind of hitting you, and you said you thought about quitting, how hard, like how close did you get, and what was it? The voices outside that you were hearing, the supportive friends, or was it just something that you heard inside your own head that kept you moving forward?
I think it was more of like people would tell me to quit because they didn't understand boxing. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand in life, like everything is not going to be sweet and go right. Like, and then like the problems that I had, I understood why they happened to me. So I knew like how to bounce back from it. So I was like, this is happening because of this. So I'm going to do this. So it's like, that's how I stood motivated to keep going, because I knew like eventually I'm gonna get to where I'm supposed to be. Like I was like if I was confused, like, and I had no like shot at doing it, I probably would have gave up. But I knew my abilities, and I know why things went wrong, and I knew I was gonna fix it and just get to where I had to be. So the outside voices, they helped. The people who told me to do good, and people who told me to quit, like I just didn't listen to anything. I just listened to myself, and I believed in myself. You know what I mean?
No doubt. You're having your second bout of 2022, and you're climbing the ranks. You're undefeated. As far as what would have to happen this year for you to consider this year a success, what do you need to see to happen for you?
I think I need to get signed by a big promoter.
Mm-hmm.
Like I need a DAZN or Al Heyman or a DAZN Al Heyman. I don't really want to sign with Top Rank, but even a Top Rank, I need a big promoter. I need to get out there. I need to know who I am, because realistically, I'm one of the best fighters in the world, and like I've tested myself against the best fighters in the world, and it's just like I feel like the world doesn't know I don't have that backing, and all it takes is that I need a promoter. I need someone who's gonna put me in the spotlight. You know what I mean?
No doubt. And as far as like kind of working with Barry Hunter, do you see that as like one of the major pieces of putting that into play?
No, training with Barry Hunter was like unexpected. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I think that's a great move. But I think it's gonna happen eventually, man. So, Barry Hunter is a plus, but I know it's gonna happen eventually, regardless.
No doubt. As far as you know, things that are happening, it's great to hear that you have got that, you know, working relationship with Barry. Peter, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it, and best of luck come June 11th.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.